When something goes bump in the night, our human instinct is to find a logical explanation. We tell ourselves it was a gust of wind, the house settling, or old pipes groaning under the floorboards. We build a psychological wall to convince ourselves our environment is safe. For 23-year-old Cass, building that wall is incredibly difficult. He is a diagnosed schizophrenic, and he openly acknowledges that his own mind actively generates terrifying visual hallucinations. He regularly sees shadow figures standing in the doorways of his home. To cope, Cass relies on a technique he calls visualization dismissal. When he experiences a hallucination, he points his GoPro at the doorway and checks the digital screen. Because a camera lens is an objective filter, if the figure doesn't appear on the display, he knows it is a trick of his mind, and he can safely ignore it. During a particularly severe episode, Cass executed this exact technique. He pointed his lens at a bedroom doorway to debunk what he perceived to be a man hiding behind a curtain. He opened and closed the drape, waiting for the anomaly to scrub away from his vision. Instead of an empty screen, the camera captured a heavy fabric curtain violently ripping upwards from the floor and hovering unnaturally in midair. While the GoPro didn't capture the specific figure Cass saw, it did record the curtain reacting to a physical force. This confirmed that even if his mind misidentified the shape of the intruder, the disturbance itself was real, leaving him with no way to explain away the event as a mental error. Humans are incredibly resilient when it comes to ignoring the impossible. During a graduation rehearsal, a sudden loud disturbance interrupted a high school principal's speech. He immediately brushed it off, calmly telling his students it was just a change in air pressure from an open door. Moments later, the physical evidence shattered that theory. A student's graduation cap forcefully zipped off their head, flying laterally across the stage toward a set of closed exit doors. Wind does not target a single dense object and throw it horizontally through a stagnant room. We see this same forced logic when a pair of sisters were home alone in a newly built house. When their front door swung wide open by itself, they naturally assumed an intruder had forced their way inside. Their human perspective assumed a standard burglary. But when they checked the security footage, the playback revealed a small, shapeless shadow figure moving through the space at speeds that blurred the frame entirely. Look at how the camera's internal software reacts. The system's artificial intelligence generated a green bounding box, dynamically locking onto and tracking a shapeless empty void as it darted through the pitch-black room. Unlike the sisters, mechanical sensors and AI software do not experience denial. They simply record and track the incoming data, even when the subject defies the known laws of physics. This technological validation extends into highly controlled environments. Inside a veterinary clinic in Madison, Alabama, the overnight staff operates in a secure, heavily monitored facility. Late one night, multiple employees clearly heard the distinct cries of a dog echoing through the hallways. Acting on pure logic, they initiated an immediate search of the entire building and the surrounding exterior, trying to locate an abandoned animal. They searched everywhere and found absolutely nothing. Yet the clinic's internal security microphones objectively recorded the persistent, desperate cries of an animal that physically was not there. We see similar anomalies far away from indoor spaces. Car enthusiast Tad Gavin was driving his Corvette through a completely isolated, empty business park in St. Petersburg, Florida, late at night, recording the drive with his dashcam. His footage captures a tall, dark figure casually stepping out of the darkness and walking directly toward the speeding sports car. The figure displays a complete lack of self-preservation. It doesn't attempt to run, hide, or grab the door handle. It simply approaches the fast-moving vehicle without any physical reaction at all. Whether it is phantom audio captured in a locked veterinary clinic or an unbothered figure wandering onto a dark road, these recorded anomalies show entities operating entirely outside the bounds of human logic and physical limits. For decades, society easily dismissed ghost stories. They relied entirely on subjective, emotional human testimony, which made them easy to write off as overactive imaginations or tricks of the light. We adapted by blanketing our homes, schools, and vehicles with high-definition cameras to establish absolute control and capture a purely objective version of reality. But as we increased our surveillance, the results shifted.
Instead of providing the comfort of an empty frame, these machines are documenting specific interactions that defy logical explanation. Cass's situation with the hovering curtain perfectly illustrates this psychological toll. When an objective lens confirms the disturbance we're seeing, it destroys the primary defense we use to feel safe in our own homes. The existence of this footage changes the stakes of these encounters. When a digital sensor confirms what our eyes see, we lose the ability to tell ourselves that the shadow in the corner was just a trick of the light.